People know that Hildy was the last girl I ever dated. They know we were both from Fresno and have both been living in Portland for many years. What they may not know is what happened between those years that cemented our bond. Teenage angst and depression paired with good old-fashioned pen and paper. From the time I was 15 till I was 17, I was in group homes. The first group home was a very strict Christian group home that didn't allow me to be openly gay. As an attempt to sway me to the heterosexual side, they let me talk with my old girlfriends, Lizzie and Hildy. Lizzie and I would talk on the phone a lot, while Hildy and I became pen pals. At least once a week for a long period of time, we would write each other. We expressed our fears and worries in those letters. I had to be cautious about what I said because the staff would look over each letter to make sure they were appropriate. But I felt like I was able to get my anger across without using harsh language and alerting them to my discomfort. While high school was torturing Hildy, I was envious reading of her experiences. I longed to be around kids like me, where I could just be myself, where I could have found my authenticity. At the group home, I wasn't even allowed to go by my own name because it was deemed too gay. So I became Luke. I wanted so badly to be Lucas again. In those letters with Hildy, I could be Lucas all I wanted. Luke didn't exist to her. A small, tiny piece of normalcy was delivered in every letter. I would hole punch each page and keep them in a binder. When I'd feel lost, I would read through each one again and again, like a novel I couldn't wait to devour until I memorized every word. A small piece of home that was tangible. As I started to rebel against my situation, the staff retaliated by taking away my pen pal privileges. It wasn't until I was out of the system and back at home with my mom that I was able to start making those reconnections. As social media was just starting to take off, we made sure we were always keeping up with each other. After we both ended up in Portland, we would talk off and on about those letters. One day she surprised me by showing me she had found my letters in a box while visiting her folks back in Fresno. I sat at her kitchen table and read through them. Seeing my handwriting was weird. The feelings I had when I wrote those words crept up on me, and it settled there for weeks. I tried to reach back to 16-year-old me. I let myself remember what those nights were like, where I would lay sleepless in my bed, wondering if I'd ever know what it was like to be held by a man, or to even go on a date. I knew I was being robbed of my normal adolescent experiences. I also knew that I was normal, and that these people were the crazy ones, but I didn't know if the future would be bright. 16-year-old me's biggest fear was always the future. Then one evening, shortly after reading my old letters, Hildy and I rented a Sam Raimi film from Videorama. We got some King Burrito and headed back to the house for a movie night. Halfway through the movie, I had an epiphany, and I knew that if I could send a message in the mail to 16-year-old me, I'd tell him this. You will meet thousands of people in your life, Lucas. Thousands. Some will cause you great suffering. Some will create your heartiest laughs. Some will help you discover your true authenticity. But through every ebb and flow of your experience, Hildy will be there for you in some way. She will message you when your mom dies to let you know she's there for you, because you won't be as close then, but she'll still be thinking of you. She will eventually be standing by your side on your wedding day, and she'll be there to help you pack when you get divorced. She'll drive you to the airport when you move to Alaska. You'll go to the beach and rivers together. You'll give an embarrassing speech at her wedding. And don't be scared, but you'll even run from zombies together. She will help you out financially in times where you have nowhere else to turn. There will be times when you know she is the only person you can trust. She'll watch you beat yourself up, but she will never reinforce those fears. She will only love you as you are, for every flaw and weakness, for every courageous step you make. Lastly, Lucas, don't take her friendship for granted. There will be times when you strain this friendship to its boundaries, but she never will. You will lose many friends because of your actions, but she'll always be by your side. Not everyone is fortunate to have a Hildy in their life, so be a Hildy for her right back. You're on a tough road, kid, but you're lucky to have a friend as good as her. Most people aren't so lucky. In the end, kid, you're gonna turn out just fine.